There we go. Good
Hey, well,
morning. How we doing?
great. How about you?
Oh, we hanging in there, man. This is I'm getting reacclimated to new
That was my dude Jeremy. I'm pumped for next year's season. And this is me horsing around pre-training, so you're trying to get a little warm up. And it's a little colder out here in the Rocky Mountains. But man, excited about next year. Like that is for sure. I have a few guys who've done wonderful jobs setting their contest prep up so that next year it's the smoothest possible road to Shredsville. I'm still debating as to whether or not I'll jump up there. We will see. In the meantime, we have work to do. Um, so yeah, this is I guess the week where I am to start trimming down for Rios. For Rios, I've been actually kind of readjusting things a little bit. I think more than anything, just trying to change my palate up some. Um, Mostly when it comes to the whole foods, the nutritious foods, the higher satiety foods. Although that's not necessarily an issue, I can't wait to look forward to eating like more than man. It's like every other day, once a day. That's about where we're at right now with that. So, but nevertheless, man, I think when it comes to dieting over the years, I've definitely tried to make it a habit to hang around the produce section a little bit more. And really quickly, man, it's crazy how your palate does change. In about 3 weeks, it's like, man, like I crave, fruits rather than, some like calorically dense candy bar or something like that. So this week, I think, this last week, the biggest thing was just like, hey, let's start trying to really get these foods in. If it impacts your total calorie sum, that's fine, simply because we are trying to go pretty hard with this fat loss phase. So again, about 200-ish pounds, and I'd like to get down to about 185. That is the goal, 185. I think that would give me, maybe we lose another 5 if we decide to set up our contest prep for next year. But if not, 185. That would definitely give me. It probably would take me like another 10 months to gain, like my 10 to 15 pounds back. So, and again, it's easier to just overfeed yourself to make a smaller version of yourself gain weight. This is the case for pretty much everyone, right? It's like for me, I know that at 160, it's easier to gain weight than 170. 170 easier than 180, and right now we were at about 200, and that was getting to be quite hectic. So taking you guys through my more lat focused of my days in the week. We start with the hammer strength high row. We do it a little bit more with our ribs down and our one arm at a time, and we kind of bring it in a little bit closer towards our body. This one, motor rows have just been, like they take twice as long as a pull down, but to me, they've always just been just that much better in regards to, first of all, like they feel healthy. Like, my shoulders, no issues here. Isn't always the same for pull-ups or chin-ups or pull-downs. And I think a lot of it just has to do with especially with, you get yourself a nice D handle or nice soft handle like this, and, you can kind of really make it work around whatever unique, the unique features that make you. So yeah, that one's staying for a while. After that, we had our this is it's a horizontal row, but again, arms decently close, and this is to my body, and this is kind of, it's filling up a space because I want a dumbbell row, but remember I tweaked my back, the dumbbell area, it just takes up a lot of space there in time. So until my back is 100% better, we're gonna go with this. Because of where the pulley's coming from, it doesn't like pull you forward the way a lot of typical cable systems do. And these are all done in Myo Rep fashions, the Moto rows, and then these cable rows as well. Yeah, and I put two D handles together so that I can kind of, like, again, same thing, right? You're on a fixed bar. It's not going to, negotiate with you, but it's a little bit more forgiving this way. Brought these back. Yeah, I had to get into the gym during Thanksgiving, and had to be really quick in and out. And this was just what was available. It felt amazing, and yeah, man, just they just take me back, because I think for a lot of us, something like this was, among our first movements we did when it comes to our bodybuilding. Again, I think cables are better for a number of reasons, but man, sometimes you just got to do what you like, man. Sometimes if it's a preference thing, if you prefer doing something, even if it's, which one's the A plus exercise, and this is A minus, B plus, still, yeah. So having fun with these. So yeah, I guess kind of backtracking a little bit. This cut is going to be so that I can continue my gaining phase or possibly compete next year. We will see. And like I told you guys, Erica brought up the whole competing when we're 40 thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. And that's still not out of the question to do 2021 and then 2023. One thing that I've learned over the years when it comes to contest prep dieting is I've learned to tax out my body less while still getting leaner. And then because of that, because of our recovery diet and how we do things, it helps a lot on the other side as well, once you're coming out of your contest prep. So that's the purpose of the cut. And then I'm curious what's under there. I'll show you guys real soon here. But yeah, officially we'll say as of tomorrow, the 10th of December, we'll start that cutting phase, like for sure, like just get on something. So one thing that I will get questions on here about movements like this, or and thankfully, like, you guys feel this way. I mean, I've worked hard to make it this way, knowingly so. It's just exercise technique. And to me, man, like, you can have someone on a real, we won't say a real shitty program, but a program that's kind of like, but if their form is like clean, they're going to make way more progress than someone who's on a fantastic program that has, all those metrics, all those variables we think of when it comes to like something's not working or working when it comes to our programming, the volume, the intensity, the frequency, the days in the week, all that stuff, the order of the microcycle in regards to how we throw our body parts around. But technique, man, if you're crispy, it's crazy what you can, it's not necessarily, not that you should be trying to get away with, but I've known a lot of lifters who've kept it simple in regards to their programming, but when it comes to how they move in the gym, it's like, whoa, like, man, like someone passed the notebook. So again, while there is some tweaks in there that are specifically for me, my needs, I will say that one thing I've always seen when I step out into other worlds and like I'm a noob and I'm learning is that things are standardized. This is how we do things, and we just don't do a great job of that in the bodybuilding world. And this is where I think the lifting library that we have, and we're always adding to that. Like, we're always adding to that. When we get a chance to get together, like us, the squad team, 3D Muscle Journey, we're adding new exercises all the time. And, like, that would have saved me a whole lot of trouble and a whole lot of aches and pains too, man. That's another one, is that, hey, not only will doing movements right, make it so that you're out there with like a freaking scalpel instead of a hammer, but it's also going to make it a whole lot more fun, just because, hey, look, getting fun is not getting injured, because ouch, it hurts, yeah, ouch. But outside of that, you don't want to be in a position like me where, like, to this day, because of dumb things I did, because of the lack of education, both it wasn't there, but at the same time, I followed, I think, the wrong people when it came to how to execute things. I still like feel that. Like there's still things that I have to work on. There's still things that will never be exactly the same. It's not necessarily going to limit how like far I get in regards to muscular development. A lot of that just comes because of education. We know better. We know how to work around things, but it's things that I do have to deal with on a daily basis, and also it's made some of my favorite lifts things that I have to dose accordingly, and I might not be able to be as strong as I could have been in them had I just gotten my fundamentals out of the way from the start. So again, most other sports do this, man. A lot of like, go take a salsa class and you'll see this. It's like, hey, let's start with the basic steps. But when it comes to this, unfortunately, it isn't that way, and that's why, again, I do recommend that for you guys. This leg press here, by the way, amazing, amazing, amazing. It's a sled. It's a hammer strength wide platform, but man, something about the bearings, the angle, it's super smooth. I almost like it as much as like the squat press I have. Yeah, and no one likes it because everyone sees it and they're like, man, that thing, it just looks like another kind of C minus sled leg press. But I absolutely love this machine, and this was done in myo rep fashion. This was my activation set. That was probably 1 or 2 reps left in reserve. Man, one thing I'll notice is like the longer you've been doing this, like your grinds just look a little bit different. Like they slow down. Yeah, technique stays there, but they also look a little bit more effortless than they actually are. Yeah, and again, man, that's who would have thought? Me a long time ago. I mean, shoot, it's crazy. It's crazy to think of. And again, you guys help keep me in check in many ways. There's still, we all have that part of inside of us that just kind of, sometimes you just want to go on a testosterone crusade, right? But it's like, no, I gotta set like a good example for you guys, and when I'm recording, I'm like, they will see this. So these things do help me stay honest. So again, hey, whatever happens, like going forward, and like it's always kind of been this way. I think a lot of my success, I have to like, it's I guess a little delayed here with the Thanksgiving. Goes back to you guys for like the support, for the, I mean, man, I got squad, and because of the responsibility you guys have put on my shoulders. So again, appreciate you guys, because you guys make me a better bodybuilder, like for sure. Oh, and this is just so this was Cynthia's. She did, I think it was 200 pounds back in August. Yeah. So we ran another squat cycle and 195, 4 sets of 2 basically. That's a high bar too, and it's a super pretty high bar. Look how forward. Look at those angles. Yeah. So this next week we have some fun with something just a wee bit over 200 for reps. So that's I not just her, but those guys in the back, Tyson, for example. I love teaching people how to lift. So if you go to my gym and you need help with something, man, just holler at me, man. I will. Teaching, educating is just, yeah. It's I'm glad that I can do that. And yeah, I'm glad when I can help people kind of take shortcuts, when like not take the long scenic route that I had to take at some point. So squats are back. This is what they feel like. This is what they look like. And I think I'll keep strength as I cut down. But anyhow, per usual, big thanks to you guys for tuning in, for supporting, for helping me just honestly become a better version of myself. Cut starts this next week. Man, I better exfoliate. All right, I'll leave it there, homies. Catch you guys next week.